What's going on, guys? Bet Records back with another fantasy football mock draft video. Going to be doing a couple of these before the season starts here. In this video, we're going to be drafting in the 5th position in a 12-team or 12-manager league. So without further ado, let's start with this one off. Have our personal league this upcoming Saturday, the last Saturday of August here. So we'll see how that goes. Up on number 5 here for our pick. The right pick is probably Eckler here. He's the best running back available, and there's a definite dip from him, I believe, to Mixon and Najee as well. Najee with those quarterback concerns in Pittsburgh. So I'm going to, Eckler would be my normal pick here, but just kind of switch things up. I love all the wide receivers. If I got that 6th pick and I don't have Eckler as that option, I'm probably going with him. It looks like Dalvin Cook went off as the 3rd pick. Not sure if I would have done that. The Vikings aren't talking about running the ball as much as previous seasons under the new head coach and coaching staff. So that's why I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson. They should be slinging the ball a lot more. Kirk Cousins is just fine. He's definitely above average. We'll say that. not the best for fantasy, but nonetheless, he can be a flyer for fantasy. Without further ado, I'm going to pick Justin Jefferson, as the first wide receiver on my roster here in the first roster spot as well. So going strong wide receiver in the first round. I do like Debo there towards the middle of the second. The thing that stinks with the 5th and 6th pick, even the 7th, it's right in the middle. You don't have those back-to-back picks to hopefully this guy falls or whatever. You got 10 picks potentially in between each time you're up for your turn. So I'm not going to go a hard wide receiver again. That would be I'll just leave Justin Jefferson in there. There's a lot more depth at wide receiver as we progress here. So kind of talked about Aaron Jones in our last mock draft video. If you want to check that out, definitely do so. It would be our last video on the channel here, if not the one before that. I don't think he should be splitting that many carries with A.J. Dillon, but, for this video, I like James Conner. It's a bit of a reach, but I know, again, we got 10 picks in between here. I'm not going to get a chance to get him again. Fournette did outstanding last season. He did still score less points than James Conner. I believe it was due to injury. He's an older guy. Both great offenses. Both, should be high-scoring offenses. But nonetheless, I'm going to pick James Conner. He should be a safer pick with a high ceiling for our running back 1 position here. So, alrighty, so now we got a couple more off the board. Aaron Jones went off, Ezekiel Elliott, Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, CeeDee Lamb went off the board as well. A.J. Brown and Mike Evans were the picks right before ours here. Now it is our 3rd pick, and then again we got 10 or 15 until we're up again. So I'm going to pick, I wanted to take a peek at wide receivers. I'd take Higgins or Allen here, but, again, we went Jefferson already. There's a lot of depth later on here. So I'm going to go with my, best running back available in David Montgomery. I understand the hype for Akers. We just haven't seen it yet. Breece Hall, great value. I kind of am not so on the page with him as my starting running back 2, maybe a flex or running back 3 I can plug and play later on in the season. I just don't see him, performing the first 4 weeks, if not the whole season. Michael Carter isn't that bad. The Jets offense doesn't have Zach Wilson to start. There's, a lot of rookie wide receivers there. Too many questions, too many moving pieces. I think I'm out on it this season. I may regret it, but let me know in the comments if you guys are on the Breece Hall train and if you'd pick him over Montgomery or even Elijah Mitchell. Like both of those guys equally there. I know we're not going to get another decent running back after these guys. It's a very far kind of drop in my eyes, certainly. J.K. Dobbins is there as well. I wanted to see, if Travis Etienne was there. I like the potential of him, but James Robinson is coming back, and his targeted week just keeps getting, earlier and earlier in the season. At the beginning of this offseason, he's supposed to come back week 6, week 4, or something like that. And then still, be dealing with the injury and stuff like that. And sounds like he's already, showing up to practice and putting in some work. So I worry for Travis Etienne. I think, the quarterback situation there, he'll want to bring him in and make him the featured back just to kind of bring it back to the college days with Trevor Lawrence, of course. But nonetheless, I'm going to take a little bit of a safer option in David Montgomery. Snag him as our running back 2 here. Now we have a choice to make. So a lot of wide receivers off the board. Allen off, McLaurin, Brandon Cooks. Cortland Sutton did go off right after T. Higgins. Josh Allen off the board. So I'm really leaning Mitchell. It would be nice to have a solid backbone at running back here. I did just want to take a peek at wide receivers. No one's really jumping out to me at this point. I'm thinking I can get Davis or even Deontay Johnson. I wouldn't mind that as a third wide receiver. Allen Robinson, sure. If I had to pick a wide receiver, I'd go Mike Williams here. DJ Moore, close second. Metcalf, Waddle, pretty much tied. Quarterback situation here. We know Tyreek Hill is going to take the targets in Miami. So I'm going to kind of pass on those guys. I'm going to take Elijah Mitchell as our first flex spot, or, our third running back as well. So A, Montgomery doesn't pay out, and B, we got the bye weeks all split there. James Conner, Arizona is bye week 13, Chicago 14, and San Francisco at 9 as well. So I'm not ever, looking for that as well. When you're drafting these players, you got two guys, on the same bye week, just take them. That's 1 week you have to worry about. And bye week, in James Conner's case, right, week 13, you're going to have 20 probably waiver moves. And if you don't, you're probably slacking and sleeping on that. So, don't put a ton of thought into bye weeks. You can use it always as a tiebreaker, and I certainly do. But Elijah Mitchell was kind of the best, bang for my buck at that ADP there. So we will go ahead and take a peek at tight ends. I don't mind Schultz here. I think you can get him in the 5th or 6th if you're really high on him. Otherwise, there's a lot of options later on, a lot of high ceilings as well. Mike Williams is still there. I think that's going to be our bet. Did see Herbert. Penny did go off the board. Darren Waller as well. Got some quarterbacks remaining. So Mike Williams, easy bet for me. Solid wide receiver 2 in a massively passing heavy offense. So we're going to go ahead and grab Mike Williams as our wide receiver 2 here. So like I said, I love all these wide receivers on the board here. I do want to peek at quarterbacks. I did see Jalen Hurts off the board. This is making me a little worried. If I was in a real draft, I might just grab Burrow or Brady right away, get it done with, get it secured. I would lean Brady just because, we can see he scored, what is this, 50, 60 points more than Burrow last season. So Brady, finished top 3 fantasy quarterback. I don't see why he's still going, that 6th, 7th, off the board. I get the upside with the rushing, but if he's still putting up numbers, I think you almost got to take him. But nonetheless, we're going to take a chance, see who falls to us. I love Darnell Mooney, but we do have Montgomery. Not a fan of the Chicago offense. Don't want to put too many eggs in that basket. I think Mooney has the same upside potential as Rashad Bateman as well. Don't mind Chris Godwin pick here if you're leaning for another Bucs player. There's just too many wide receivers in there for me. I'm going to grab Rashad Bateman, someone who's going in their 2nd year and should be the number 1 wide receiver as well in that offense. So go ahead and grab Bateman as, again, either a flex or that first bench position as well here. Then we're back on the board. I know we got 3 running backs. I did want to take a peek. Edmonds and Kareem Hunt aren't bad as well. We're now going into the 7th round. I might grab any of these first 4 guys, whoever I'm feeling the most. Love the upside with Hunt here. He did absolutely well. He usually does well as well. And Chase Edmonds is looking like the number 1 back for Miami. So great picks there. Melvin Gordon did just fine last season. Yeah, 167, and he was splitting time again, and they're splitting time 50-50 again this season. So I'm not worried about Melvin Gordon not seeing time. I think he's a great running back 3 as well this year. But looking at quarterback, we did miss our guys right before us, actually. Yep, if you look on the right, we have Mooney, Joe Burrow, and Tom Brady to start off the top of the 7th round. Michael Thomas and Amon-Ra St. Brown falling as well towards the end of last round. If I had to take another wide receiver, I would go for a Thielen. I think he's a great number 2. I know we have Justin Jefferson, but A, if something happens to Jefferson, or B, if I really need to plug him in there, I will. But with that in mind, wouldn't mind either of the tight ends right now in round 7. I think Goddard and Hawkinson are both great values. You could probably get them each in the 8th. We're going to just take Wilson for taking, a quarterback here. I like Dak's upside. He's always got great upside. He did, decent last season. It was the first year after his injury season. So we should expect some improvement from last year. It looks like the points are going to be, kind of getting level here, projected at least for this season. But I'm thinking he should certainly be able to improve. Trey Lance should be a great, flyer pick. I just want something kind of safe. I've taken the Flyers before, personally. in later rounds. So I'm just going to take Russell Wilson. I think there's a lot of potential there. He's got a lot of young talent. Javonte Williams, a great running back, younger guy. Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, both on the younger end as well for the wide receiver position. So I think he's got a lot of potential. Some great tight ends, to lean on as well. Russell Wilson set up for success this season, and I think he's worth a definite shot or Dak as well here. So Juju off the board, Kareem Hunt off the board, Allen Lazard off the board, Trey Lance, Matt Stafford, Dak Prescott, and Chase Edmonds also off the board. So they're running back we still like. Yes, we still like Melvin Gordon, and I do still like James Cook. He's the, I believe, younger brother of Dalvin Cook from Minnesota. I know Singletary is starting, week 1. He should be with the job there, but as the season progresses, we saw Singletary wasn't reliable last season. They got to do something different in Buffalo to, make that running game effective. And James Cook might be the option there, and he might be the answer. I would be willing to take him as a running back 4 here, but just to kind of, give us some more depth at wide receiver, I'm going to go with DeAndre Hopkins. I wouldn't mind Tyler Lockett as well because I get it. Hopkins is going to be out for the first 6 games on a suspension, but we got Justin Jefferson, we got Mike Williams, we even got Bateman in here again for that flex, right? So I don't need him. I don't need a wide receiver probably for the first 6 weeks unless something tragic happens. So I'm willing to wait. I'll keep DeAndre Hopkins on my bench. He's going to be a stud when he starts. A flex spot, minimum. Should be a mid-range wide receiver 2 at the very least when he does come back from a suspension. So I think that's an easy pick here in the 8th round for myself. Then let's go ahead, take another peek at running back. Melvin Gordon, James Cook still there in the 9th round for this mock draft. That's great value. Safer bet, Melvin Gordon. We took the safer bet with Montgomery and even taking Elijah Mitchell. So I'll take some upside in a running back 4. Again, if it was the running back 3, I would lean Melvin Gordon. He'll do just fine. He always had breakout runs last season as well. Him and Javonte kind of went, back and forth. One would get 5 points, the other would get 20, and sometimes they'd get 15 each kind of thing. So I think he's definitely a safe and great option for that running back 3. But I'm going to take James Cook due to that upside here in this mock draft. So the only position we don't have is tight end still. We can still get Dallas. We can still get Hawkinson in the 10th round. Home leagues, they're not dropping this far. I think even Zach Ertz is going to be picked well before the 10th round. He's been, he had a lot of upside this previous season, getting traded to Arizona midseason. He saw a ton of targets for Kyler Murray. Not sure if he's just, that big of a receiver there, or if Kyler Murray likes him, or Kyler got in trouble and dumped it to him. I'm not 100% sure, but he performed dang well towards the latter half of the second season, or I should say latter half of last season. So I'm going to wait one more round probably for a tight end there. Michael Gallup is a great pick here. I got some strong wide receivers in this draft, so truly, if I could run something back right now, I might have taken a quarterback instead of Mike Williams, just because, again, I'd love to play Rashad Bateman. DeAndre Hopkins, again, we got to wait. I might have taken someone else, but right now I'm looking at Michael Gallup, sounding like he should be ready for week 1. Right now he's only projected 100 points. He's had this injury. I don't think this is truly updated yet. Just heard word today he should not be on the PUP list starting week 1 this season. So Michael Gallup, a great wide receiver 2 in that offense, and a great pick for these later rounds, especially these double-digit rounds. So, all righty, next couple off the board. TJ Hawkinson just went before us. I would have probably leaned towards him just because, Detroit might be down more games than Philadelphia. I think both offenses are, kind of shaky. Will have their games, good and bad. A lot of mixed talent, younger, older. We got it all on both of these offenses here. We had Gainwell, some other, third, second string running backs coming off the board, James Robinson as well. So I'm going to go ahead and secure that tight end, Dallas Goedert. Let's go ahead and take him. That's a steal for the 11th round, certainly. So I'm happy to take him. I've been liking to take a flyer tight end, and with my last pick, there's some great options out there that we'll maybe take a peek on later off in this draft. I'm going to go ahead and just snag our defense and our kicker here. I'm just going to take a quick peek, see if anyone is worth mentioning. Khalil Herbert should be okay. It would be a fine handcuff to David Montgomery here. I'm fine with it. My problem is if I pick up Herbert, I'm keeping him on my bench all season long unless Montgomery is injured. Yes, I have a starting running back all season. It's a fine bet. I understand the strategy, but I'm wasting a bench spot for someone else to have the potential of being a running back one, wide receiver one. Doesn't matter. I'm wasting that roster spot for waiver pickups every week. You know, it's one guy I can't fluctuate or try out. So I'm not looking for, you know, a true handcuff this season. And if I do, I'm probably dropping them, you know, pretty early just because there should be a lot of moves. You should be making a lot of moves, especially within the first, you know, 6 weeks of the season here. So let's go ahead and grab that defense and kicker. If you do like the video so far, go ahead and leave us a like on this one. Helps let us know that you guys want some more of these. What do you guys think of that Russell Wilson pick? Are you guys high on him? Do you agree I should have taken a quarterback earlier? That's, you know, kind of what I'm thinking here. But nonetheless, let us know in the comments. Love the feedback and love, you know, kind of sharing this insight and experience with all the fantasy football fans as always. I would never say in a real draft, you know, pick your kicker and defense in the 12th, 13th round. 14, 15 is just fine. If you want, you know, a top kicker, take him in the 13th. For me, these last two bench spots are, again, just flyer picks that we want someone to explode on, or we're going to drop them within the first 4 weeks to, you know, again, get someone else with some higher upside here. So, all righty. So let's take a peek at running back. Nothing crazy that I like out here. A lot of kind of handcuffs. You could try Davis Price, but it's San Francisco. Elijah Mitchell should be that guy again this year. Wide receiver wise, there's some depth there for some flyers. My kind of favorite flyers are actually right here in this tight end spot. Kind of mentioned that earlier. Noah Fant got traded with Drew Lock to Seattle. He should be starting tight end in that offense. Don't know who the quarterback's going to be either way. They might have to just find the biggest wide receiver out there and chuck him the ball, which would be this guy right here. So great potential there. And same thing with Njoku. We know Deshaun Watson will be out for the first 11 weeks of football. I believe the Browns have their bye, week 9 or something. So at least it covers that. But again, we got Jacoby Brissett for those. So who really knows what's going to happen there as well. All righty. And finally, if this will load up, my last pick here truly was going to be Jameson Williams from Detroit. Don't see him on here right now. There he is. He's going to be injured for the first 4 weeks, but again, he should be doing great this year. So thanks for tuning into this one. If you do like this team, definitely let me know in the comments. What do you think about that quarterback situation? We got a B-. You know, a lot of great upside here and some safe plays. But thanks again for tuning in as always. Make sure to leave a like down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.